The Martian pyramid loomed before us like a sentinel from another era, its jagged edges casting a shadow that stretched for miles. To some, it was just a relic of an alien civilization, a testament to myths shared between gods and humans. But to us, those stationed at the Purple Lagoon base, it was the key to everything. To everything we feared, to everything we hoped for, and now, to everything that threatened to destroy us. The air around the pyramid was electric, a pulsating field of energy that made every hair on my body stand on end. I, Dr. Abyss, had devoted my life to deciphering ancient mysteries, believing that understanding the past would guide humanity's future. But standing before this colossal structure, I realized how naive that thought had been. This was no mere artifact. It was a weapon, and we were about to pull the trigger. Dr. Abyss, a hoarse voice interrupted my thoughts. It was General Alex Gray, his grave expression reflecting the fear hidden behind his relentless demeanor. The base is at risk. We're being attacked. We need you. I didn't need to ask who by. When he mentioned the danger, my instinct, honed by years of experience, already knew this was no simple attack. Something much bigger was in motion. But what? And why Mars? Why now, when we had finally started to understand what we were really dealing with? We hurried out of the control room, and soon, muffled explosions began to resonate through the station. The Purple Lagoon base was being invaded. The lights flickered, and alarms echoed through every corridor. The walls trembled from the impact of something colossal, and fear spread like a disease through the station. On my way to the command room, I found a scene of chaos. Security soldiers rushed back and forth, trying to organize the defense, while scientists and engineers struggled to maintain composure. But fear was in the air, palpable. "Here!" Gray shouted as he hurried toward the command center. When I entered the room, a hologram showed a massive ship hovering over Mars, a dark silhouette cutting through space like a shadow of death. Its contours were angular and brutal, with Egyptian inscriptions and symbols etched into its surface. Everything inside me screamed that this wasn't something humanity had made. It couldn't be. This can't be real, I murmured, feeling a wave of terror spread through my body. I had seen something like this before, in a ship that intercepted my path years ago, but this was different. Much larger, much more threatening. And the worst part, it was here, over Mars, where we were investigating the pyramid. "It's them," Gray said, his voice rough. "The servants of Anubis." There was no doubt. The connection between that ship and the beings attacking our base was clear. But the big question remained. Why would Anubis, an ancient god, be attacking Mars? And what did he want with the pyramid? We were dealing with something far bigger than any of us could have imagined. The first soldiers fell, torn apart by grotesque creatures descending from the ship, beings with a canine appearance, semi-humanoid bodies, black as coal, with red eyes glowing with the fury of predators. Jackal dogs. They weren't just animals. They were soldiers, creatures from another dimension sent to cleanse. "Form a line, create a perimeter." Gray's orders rang out as the remnants of our defense force tried to respond. But it was clear we weren't prepared to face that horde. I saw one of the soldiers dragged into the darkness, the creature's sharp teeth slashing his throat before he could react. The sound of metal being crushed, the muffled scream, the blood spreading across the floor. Panic spread. What began as a pinpoint attack soon turned into a desperate battle for survival. "We need to evacuate to a safe location," Gray shouted, but I knew there was nowhere to run. The base was surrounded. Anubis' ship, now orbiting over the surface of Mars, was a massive shadow preventing any escape. Communications with Earth had been cut off. We were completely isolated. "Let's go to Gigantia and Red Dragon," I suggested, trying to find some logic amidst the chaos. If we've been attacked, they must have been too. Even though they were rivals of Purple Lagoon, all three organizations had been involved in studying the pyramid, and if one base had been destroyed, the others were surely under threat as well. Perhaps, just perhaps, we could find some temporary alliance to survive this. But what we found was even more terrifying. The Gigantia and Red Dragon bases were in ruins. Destruction was total. What remained were groups of survivors, more shadows of their former forces, struggling to resist the attack of the jackal dogs. We had to unite. There was no other option. Scientists, military, and engineers, all together now, fighting against a threat we hadn't even imagined possible. With no communication with Earth, no help in sight, we were forced to create a survival strategy. And where else could we turn for answers but the Pyramid of Horus? But as we approached it, the dilemmas began to intensify. The pyramid was not just an object of study. It was something more, something far more dangerous. We knew that within its depths was the tomb of Horus. But what we also knew, and what haunted me, was that the unique energy signature we had detected there could be the key to an incomprehensible power or a global disaster. The hieroglyphs on the pyramid, with their mystical and arcane symbols, began to reveal secrets that were not meant for us. Horus and Anubis, seemingly enemies, appeared to have an intertwined history. But why would Anubis attack now, at this exact moment? What did he fear about the awakening of Horus? What was in that tomb that could be more valuable or dangerous than any known technology? At some point, my mind began to drown in possible answers. The only thing I knew for sure was that if we awakened Horus, we could unleash something far beyond our ability to control. But if we didn't, we would be leaving Mars, and perhaps Earth, at the mercy of Anubis and his servants. We reached Horus's tomb, a colossal chamber. The sarcophagus inside was massive, made for a being at least 12 meters tall. The inscriptions around it spoke of an incomprehensible power, but also of a cosmic battle that had been fought between these ancient gods. Horus, Anubis, Set, Ra. They were all connected, but where were the others? The decision was made. The only way to understand what was truly at stake was to awaken Horus. But what could happen when we did? We were forced to take the risk. With a swift motion, I activated the mechanism, and a wave of golden energy flooded the room. The tremor that followed was so intense that the pyramid seemed alive. Horus's sarcophagus began to open, revealing something colossal. The entire structure shook, as if Mars itself was bowing before that primal force. Horus had awakened. The ground trembled, the walls shattered, and the sound of something enormous awakening was deafening. But would Horus be our salvation, or our doom?